as well. Well, here we are in the early class. Overslept. Got a little bit ahead of myself. And now we're back at it. 40 minutes late, but hey, we'll do it again. Do it right. We'll get it right. You need a 12-fold at all four corners. So I'm doing just one 12-fold like this, which is corner to the vertex, and then bisection of that. And then it's corner to the bisection. That pretty much solves it. Man, oh man, oh man. So there were these classes that I also was supposed to be taking during the quarantine. You sort of sign up for it. Were these algebra classes given by this teacher called Norman Wildberger. And I don't know, he's a great math teacher. And recently he's been uploading sort of elementary mathematics, K through 6 sort of videos. And it just so happened that it got on my feed, on my YouTube feed. And latest video was on colored tilings. And I thought it was pretty great.
Like tricolorability type stuff?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it was actually pretty fun the way he was explaining it and sort of going about the bare bones of it. I'll upload the video to the Discord. I was watching it yesterday actually instead of sleeping. Just should have slept early for it. My problem is that I like to not sleep sometimes. It's a bad habit. It's a very bad habit, but I get into it. I'd just be looking at a video and going like, well, I could be sleeping, or just one more. No. All right, so let me pull up the design on the video, so we can see how it's done. All right, so there we go. This is David Waite's picture of the design. So first thing that struck me was, of course, to see it as though it was starting here. So my first way, my first intent, my first sort of impulse. Afterwards,
It's
it
bigger than
became,
that.
yeah. Afterwards, so I looked at it like this. But afterwards, I looked at it like this, the motif. See, the
There you
problem was
go.
that, you could look at it like this and it would be like, all right, this is one tile, two tile, or bring it all together. And how it'd be, all the information would be in this single motif. And also here would be the big clue. So here we see the square tile, this 4 cents of 12. And it's pretty much a center star, 12 star at all four corners and at the center. And at the midpoint between the vertex and the center, right there, that's where the star happens with a 15-degree angle. Just like the shortest angle at 12.5, the slimmest of the slim. And that'll be it. It'd just be then those three interacting. And I thought it was pretty ingenious the way they sort of solved for it, where these two opposites are the same. It has a sort of a mirror symmetry, but it happens on this diagonal line, that mirror. So these two are different. And so what is going to be the problem, or like the hardest part of it, is really going to be to solve for this right top corner here, this shape, sort of.
Yeah, those are kind of weird.
Yeah, those are kind of weird. But other than that, I mean, everything else is just falling into place. So first big thing would be just to get these three stars happening. Afterwards, we see that it's just a clean cut, goes all the way through with this line. So that's also quite advantageous for us. Afterwards, well, we see how it sort of comes down toward this. So as long as we have this 12, also, I mean, this is all sort of within the scheme of possibility in that. Let me see, let me pull it up a little bit closer, just to analyze a little bit more here. This is also part of the same 12.5. So it's the same point of flex. Yeah, of course, you can see that it's on the, yeah, no, that means nothing. All right. So it was that, and I guess for me it was very clear once I saw the David Wade sort of analysis on this one. Once I saw it like this, it was just pretty obvious how this would be the main square. So keeping in line with what we've done before, I thought that, if we did the tile, the motif, then everything else would just be a matter of expanding. Yeah, Surabi did answer on the Discord there. I'm sorry, Surabi. I'm so sorry. That'll teach me. Gotta sleep early for the early classes. Can't be no oversleeping on these.
Can you see who votes for what times on the polls?
Yes. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about how to go about that, using the data for our benefit. And there's a bunch of things that I still have to take into control. Because the way I've been doing it is sort of offering different tiers for different number of classes. But if a person joins in halfway through the month, I can't simply just then be like, oh yeah, next month, class start. No, rather I gotta be sort of more wary of when somebody joins and how many classes they've been to. So then it becomes this more of a personalized thing, which I have to be keeping track of, because I can't just send it is within the realm of possibility to send messages to someone that, oh yeah, the center now, somebody that just wants to go.
You're too fast for me. I'm still doing
Sorry.
my divisions.
So right now I'm sort of going for, so I have my 4 corners set in, and now I'm going for that center 12. And well, there's this intersection that I could use. It goes right across here. And then it seems to be just a bisection between these two.
Did you just fold that halfway in the side?
Yeah. This?
Yeah. Did you just fold that to the center?
Yeah, I did, but I was looking for an intersection, and there are some relationships here, and it could be just a matter then of sort of taking sort of the center line. Let me just find myself here. There we go. Almost have taken the half of it and just going like this. So I thought that could be a way, and then of course it would be sort of an unfolding, but there are certain intersections we could use already. I mean, there is that one. So I thought this design was pretty ingenious, and kind of struck me as I looked at it yesterday, going like, well, it's definitely possible, definitely within the realm. I'm seeing now that it's very interesting how these lines are lining up as well. So when I'm doing the 12-fold now, it seems that I am just going for the intersections that I found here. So it's almost like this point to this point. These two. How you doing, Sarah? You got that 12 going?
I got a couple more lines I gotta fill.
Nice, nice.
Distracted for a minute. I'm like having somebody come out today to install fiber internet. So
Oh, the good kind, huh?
yeah, I should have, like, they just made it available in my neighborhood like not that long ago, and I should have just like jumped right on it, but I procrastinated. But
Another feeling.
I need, my bandwidth is straining, so
Is it like meetings all day, every day?
yeah. It's
Is
like
it all
I
Zoom,
got
or do you guys also like spice it up with some Google Meets or something?
so for school we use Microsoft Teams. I don't know what my kids are using because their school hasn't started yet, but they're doing some like Schoology, or I don't know, it's some like specific
Blackboard
thing.
stuff.
Yeah.
When does school start for your kids?
They start September 1st.
Oh, it's still, well, they got a couple weeks more.
Yeah.
Better put in all that anime time now.
Dude. It's all
Catch
like
that.
that and video games. They've been begging me for like at least a year to like let them start a YouTube channel.
At least a year to let them start. Like in a year, they should be up and running. That kind.
No. Like they've been asking me for like a year. Like, can we start a YouTube channel? Can we start a YouTube channel?
Oh, yeah, what do you tell?
I've been telling them no because I mean technically, right? Like YouTube's thing is like you have to be 13 or whatever. And I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever. But like, of course, there's parents that like let their kids do that stuff. But
So responsible.
But yesterday we found out like we need a new roof for our house and it's going to cost like $10,000. And so I was like, all right, kids, you can start your YouTube channel.
What, with the roof video, being the first video?
No, like make me some money so I can buy.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
roof.
yeah. Give me some ads. Give me that sweet creeper money.
All right, what are you doing?
Okay, so pretty much I'm just looking for the 15 degree in this point. Okay, so now if I fold
okay,
it,
I don't have the four corners in yet.
yeah, well, yeah, fold the four corners in. Man, I feel terrible that I overslept. So terrible.
You know, I was getting ready to start just trying to fold this on my own. Like, whatever, I'm awake.
Yeah.
You know?
It'd be cool that post on the Instagram going, well, today you didn't show up, but you know, I still did it. It's a lot of fun. Thanks.
Hey, there's a bowl and a spoon on the counter. Mitch just gave me like the worst look.
Who did?
My 8-year-old.
Because you told him that the spoon is on the counter?
Yeah.
Like, how dare you?
All right. So I got my 4 corners folded in. What do you got going on now? So we're doing
Okay, so we gotta look for that 15-degree on this center point.
where
And
the
so it's
like very center, like where the diagonals cross.
no, well, it's the center point, yeah, for the diagonals crossing on like a fourth of it.
Yeah.
So right there, pretty much. So actually, we could use this in the opposite direction so that we could use a bounce on it. Might be the best way to go about this right now. So in order for this to make sense, or rather, because this is going to make sense, there are going to be some lines that are going to be matching. So these two will be falling on top of themselves. These two. And going through that point.
Which one's even matching?
It's these two. So it's one of the most innermost on this corner. So this is the radial line, the one right next to it, and there should be another one that's parallel to it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
And so these two are going to line up, and it's going to go through the point. Then, well, we could mirror it all around. So first mirror is going to be just to get it on the other side of it. So we're going to use this radial line. So all my radial lines on all the 12s I've put in so far have been in the same state. So I have them set up here as mountains. And I'm folding the new lines, the pattern lines, in valleys. So now that way I can just simply fold that line, that pattern line, and then sort of just put it on the other side, mirror it.
Do we need the horizontal and vertical through that point?
Do you mean the horizontal and vertical for the tile, for the square, the corner, the quarter?
Yeah, through the point we're doing right now. Like that.
Like this one?
Yeah, do we need that?
We don't need it, but I did put it in just to be sure on that corner, but we don't really, it's not really necessary.
I'm gonna put it in.
Yeah, go for it. So I did the mirror, and then I'm adjusting based on the lines matching. So my mirror sort of did not account for this matching, so I'm just pivoting it to make sure that these two lines, and then it goes to the point. So what's cool about this is that it pretty much gives us already the width of our channels. Pretty much this is established here. And so now it becomes a matter of sort of spreading the joy, moving this around. So several ways we could go about it. Definitely one of the simpler ones, one of the ones we're looking at, is just bouncing off the quarters. So that would be almost of doing a pattern line and then using this midpoint. Although we are going to use all of them pretty much. But this is all mirroring right now. Thought that would be the fastest way to get this done. So we are only going to construct a quarter of the pattern on this big tile. And look at all this information we're going to need to put in just to get this much. So I think that could also be another staple to the genius of this design. Man, I feel so bad that I overslept, man. That's what you get. That's what you get. Me, I'm talking to myself here. That's what I get. So I'm not even sure if this actually lines up to this center point there. I don't think so, but for this line, it's matching. Let's see if for the other ones as well. Seems weird to me. No, yeah, it does hit the center.
Mm.
Yeah, just the line just goes right through. I mean, the point is visible there. It's not a landing site per se because there's not another sort of point on it, but it does fall right on it. Okay. Good to know. Oh, those things, it just takes time, this thing. Just getting those radial lines to match to all this. So once we put more lines in, we actually do see a line appear that hits right at that center point. So that line does come out to get us.
I woke up later than everybody because I
Some wholesome shit right there.
Yeah, my child explaining, or saying the reason that he woke up after everybody else is because he was actually up the earliest.
That's why. Just to let you know, he says. In case you were wondering.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Competition. I don't know.
So then this is the channel. But more than the center being the main character for this, it's really the corners that require us to keep filling in at the channel. But it's not completely, out of touch to finalize the last details on this star. So almost like just to see these intersections side to side almost. And I might be getting some sort of inaccuracy because some points are actually matching, or they are hitting this line right there of my star. Some lines are matching there, but some aren't. Some are a little overshot. So this one seems to be a little overshot to that one.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting it like so, or are you overshot as well?
So like hitting the midpoints of that dodecagon.
It does hit the midpoint, doesn't it?
It seems like some of them do. It seems like some of them are like perfect, but then, a couple of them are off.
Yeah, I think that might be on us because if we look at it in another way, this line here, this diagonal, is matching to this other one here. So these two are sort of on the same radial line. So if this midpoint is where the star is, then it should also be where this star is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on us, but I think it's fine. This one is a little bit too off for my liking.
Mine's not too bad.
I just got one that is a little bit too much.
So, I guess.
Okay, so once
do
we
the
get
bounces to complete the star.
Yeah, do the bounce to complete the star, but I would suggest completing the star first on the four corners.
Oh. Okay.
That's where the main action is happening.
So what do we need there? Let's see.
So at that intersection, there's going to be a perpendicular going all the way across.
That second radial division?
Yep. Yeah, from the diagonal, one left after that. And actually, there is a landing site for this one. It's right there, these two.
Really?
For me, it does match. What are you?
Mine is kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of? Well, good enough. Or yeah, no, I would go more for the intersection though. I mean, these points intersecting, I think that's the main takeaway for this one.
Like it hits on one side, but not the other. So there's that imperfection, I guess.
Yeah. I think I got it too. The imperfection.
Whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the quarter motif anyway. Sort of putting all this information in there.
It's just an exercise.
Just to wiggle the mind into place.
Yeah. My class that meets at 9 o'clock is my visual mathematics class, and this will be my first time meeting with them actually. So like
this year,
their first day of class.
Oh, nice.
Be like, hey guys, you know, I
This
tuned in for class before your class, and I'm gonna totally make them do this stuff. They're gonna build up to it, but
Yeah, no, well, actually taking that into account, maybe the drop is going to be more to their liking. I know it's 40 minutes into it, but this design, I think you would enjoy making it a lot. So I'll just show through the rundown. You want me to go through it? Well, when we're in about 15 minutes, I'll show you the rundown.
dude, all right. I mean, I gotta go probably about 8:45.
Yeah, then I'll do it in 10. It's so cool, the visual mathematics stuff. You're going to teach in the Voronoi as well?
Oh yeah. Oh man, I almost forgot about that. But yeah. I have to work that in there. I was like working on my syllabus late last night, like trying to get ready for class.
Yeah, me too. See where it got me. No, I did go too deep into it last night. It was just too late. Took it too far. So there is a matching point with the landing site right there.
I'm not quite
So
there.
it's almost as...
I've been trying to finesse these
Yeah.
for outer. What are you doing? Bouncing that.
I'm sort of approximating it. Instead of doing a bounce, I'm just sort of trying to see where the line is hitting there. And then because I know it's going to be a lot of these overlapping radial lines, then that happened. But there is a corner on my 12-fold that does hit a radial line right there. And also there's going to be, well, of course, parallel to the channel. So we could also approximate it through this sort of reduction on channels approach. And then just to finesse actually just the last details on the pedals here, we simply take the corner and we put it on this intersection. In that case, this one. And this one. And so that gives us the final sort of bottom down approach here. Well, So there's going to be one corner of these. Well, we'll build up to it, but there's going to be one corner of these that does not have all the shapes in it. But they all have a star, though. All of them have a star no matter what. So it is important that we do finalize the star pattern on all 5 points, the 4 corners and the center. So this center will benefit from us putting in, finalizing the star. So even though that this is done, this corner is, I still have to, yeah, I might as well put that in right now.
Finish the central star.
Yeah, finish the central star. So a lot of lines matching up to this one. Unfolded these, all these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, all are overlapping.
Are you going to do the same thing in the 11 o'clock session?
Yeah, pretty much. That's the idea.
Finish it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the idea. Or it could be that, you know, this is the Islamic pattern, and then I do just a drop for the other one.
Yeah.
I guess one of the things about making a mistake is that there really is no point in dwelling on it. I mean, beyond sort of acknowledging and recognizing the mistake and sort of, you know, just keeping check of what actually went wrong. Beyond that, there's really nothing you can do. And right now, I'm having a hard time convincing myself that's that's the thing. That's the case.
I'm talking about like the little errors.
I'm talking about being late.
Yeah.
The little errors, indeed.
Yeah.
Hi, Mommy.
Make your alarm louder.
Yeah. My alarm louder, sleep earlier. I think that would be the key takeaway. Okay, so I have the center star set in. I have my square here, which is sort of essential for it. And now it's really just a matter of sort of establishing where this hexagon is going to come in here. But the advantage is the hexagon does happen at the midpoint. And that is to say that this line is sort of coming in, and then there's the bounce. You can actually even see here.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it will match to this other corner.
Mm.
So as soon as I complete this one as well, it should pretty much give me all the information I need for this hexagon here.
And that, so is there like a, I mean, because that'll be another parallel that's the same distance.
True. We could simply
Will it?
establish it like
I mean,
this.
is
Yeah.
that, does this just like have a secret underlying, like simple grid?
Yeah. Are you talking about just like all these parallel lines sort of?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good observation. No, and I can always already tell that there's a bunch of smaller details happening. I mean, you know, what's new there, but you know, it's always that possibility of the pattern within the pattern, right? What also happens at this point, on the bottom here, this midpoint, is that the lines do shoot up in 15 degrees. So again, sort of like that same problem, rather, of this trisection here. So we do have this diagonal line, and we have this diagonal line. And there would be just this trisection, this 1, 2 kind of situation. 1, 2, 3. But we do have this line which is matching to this 12-fold division over here. So there is that sort of hope that it just is really just matching to that point. But there's got to be something that falls on itself, especially some of the radial lines. Or at least for something to be parallel, at least. Yeah, I wouldn't fold it too much. And I am inclined to believe that it is that line, that point. So there's sands in my bed. And some of them are just starting to crawl out of me. So all I'm doing here for now is just guaranteeing that it is at that point, and it does seem to be. Yeah, so let's just say it is. It's almost as if as you're drawing this line, you will hit this 12-fold that's happening right there. I don't know if you can see that line. Actually goes through that point as well, pretty nice. And then hits right there on this line, and it just, on that hit, that you just finish it off. So right now I just matched for the smaller line. I mean, I'm not gonna go full extension on this one. It just seems a little bit unnecessary. But it will be perpendicular, no, parallel rather to, let's see. Yeah, it should be parallel to this line. So it's perpendicular to this line. This is the one that falls on itself, this one. This one falls on itself and hits that midpoint. But again, we just really need this. And it is at that intersection, so we don't really need it. We just already have the point, and then we just bounce it out. Okay, so we have, so if it's going to be, the mirror symmetry that we say it's going to be, we only need to solve for half of it, really. Even so. So it's this one, and then we just need to solve for this one, and that'll be pretty much it. And so let's see here. We have two of these. Oh no, see, I overdid it. This is not a full star. Yeah, so we really might as well just get all the stars in. I don't know why I'm not doing it that way. Okay, so it's 9:40. So I'm pretty much just gonna finish this pattern on my own. Sarah's got to go like in 5 minutes, but before that happens, I'm gonna just show Sarah some solutions to this drop design. Let's see how we do. So I'm gonna undo it. Well, first off, before I undo it, I'll just show you sort of the idea. So as you can see, there's all these pentagonal happenings around our space. That's the center of the paper. We have 3 here, and then 3 more and 3 more. So a total of 9 pentagons. That's why it doesn't close. If it were 12, it would close into a dodecahedron. Also, we have sort of a decagon and then a ring of equilateral triangles, but it really is just a division. This is just an illusion, but it does give it a lot of its texture and sort of finesse and character. So I'm going to undo it. And there's a very interesting sort of solution to this, and it revolves around the idea, of course, of sacrificing space. But the way the space is sacrificed, it needs some sort of explanation. It does need, and it's a lot of sort of course correcting. Well, no, not course correcting. Trial and error. It was a lot of trial and error for me. So I marked one that isn't necessary. So it does work as in you have a center one. So that's my center. So, okay, let me just really ink it in. So this is a 12 by 12 by 12. So it's 12, 12, and 12. And then at the center, you're going for a construction of a hexagon that has sort of a ring around it. So sort of go like 1, 2, 3, 4 almost. And you construct 3 of these. 1, 2, and 3. And so on top of that one, there's 2. And so what's interesting is that only one of these, so there's sort of a difference. So these 2 on the right and left, so this on my bottom and to the right of it, could go either way, I suppose. But 2 of these, wait a minute, I'm counting wrong. It's actually this one. Yeah, this is not it. This guy's getting sacrificed, which is why the line goes through there. But so it's here, 1 to the left, and then 1 to the left of that. So it's almost as if this one would be this one, 1 to the left, 1 to the left to that. No. Here, I'll just do it. So 12 by 12. So first ring, and then the way I see it is that we go sort of from the center. We're going to need to have 3 that can spin around here on the bottom. And so when we fold it, from the perspective of the center, we see that it goes 2. So if we sort of go for the center up, we have 2 more from that center line towards any direction, whether it be right or left. In this case, it's to my right, so I go 1, 2. So it's almost as if from the center goes towards the center of the next one, and then 1 and 2. And then that's where my sacrifice happens. The sacrifice is the triangle right after this one. And then that goes underneath. And you can use the pops to sort of get this resolution on it. What do you know, the next one really was here. Next one, same thing. Sort of like the bottom center almost. And there is a center line though. There's a center, goes up, hits, same thing, we got it for 2. And that same way all around. Same here, center. Center. So there is this detail of the inside of this figure. And by that I mean that there is some, you should be sort of taking into account the overlaps that will be happening inside. But only taking them into account in as much as it doesn't get in your way. It's not that you should sort of be playing around with it too much in the center. It will all fall into place. Now here's the interesting part. Once you have this shape and have 6 of these, the next 3 are going to change it up a little bit. The sacrifice will not happen at a full triangle. Rather, as you can see, the fold is happening right between a triangle here. So it's not going the 1, 2 usual way of below. Rather, it's going like a 1, 2 and half. If we look at it from like this line toward the top. And that whole line gets sacrificed. And then again, that whole line. So I guess this is the challenging part, just making sure that it is the whole line. So it's a pretty simple design in that, you know, I actually do have to fold it and unfold it several times just to get like the proper CP. The crease pattern. And of course, the last one is the bitch of the bunch.
Seems like once the paper has that memory, though, like it comes together really easily.
Is memory?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when you set it in right, then the rest of it just falls together, and you should be able to sort of make these three edges here match. And then it's just a matter, you can put your finger inside of it and just go pop in it to make sure that you get your little pentagons happening. And you can always pop those out too. So you can even do that sacrifice in that way. I mean, if we do it like this, we don't even need to go for a 12. If we do it like this, we just need a 6, really. If that.
So that, I mean, in that sense, I mean, you could even tighten some creases and it would be an icosahedron.
Yep. Yeah, this is pretty much an icosahedron. Well, yeah, except that we don't have the line that goes. But yeah, I guess that's what you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just marking those triangles. Yeah, definitely the icosahedron is also big on this one. We could go for 18 and then make these pops a little more interesting. But just for some pops to do all that work, I mean, it is worth it because then you can go with 3 lines. You can go sort of like once, twice, and then like 1, 2, instead of just the one drop, the one sort of indentation on it, which I actually favor. I mean, aesthetically, I don't know why I find it that much more pleasing for it to have these little ripples there, sunken ripples.
I gotta go.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Sarah, for joining us today. I
Thanks.
apologize once more for the sleeps, and yeah, you have a good day, and thank you very much.
See ya.
See ya. All right, so now it's just you and me, fellow recording. Now it's just you and me. And so we're gonna move on to the next part of this pattern. So this established, I'm going for this cross at this point. So that means well, this line actually goes all the way. And it will create this hexagon up in here. So might as well finish all these lines in first. So all of them might not have the, so this one goes here, and this one goes here. And all of them do have that. I mean, that's a preemptive measure. It's not completely crazy to fold all these lines in. Okay, so this one is actually going to hit and make a hexagon here. Like this one has a hexagon over here. Same deal. And so it's based on a radial line, which means that as this goes up, it hits there and then it has to bounce back on this. Now the thing about the mirrors, of course, is that there's this change in them, right? I mean, when you use them, you need to anticipate a change. So here I have to actually fold this radial line the other way because I want to use the mirror on the short end of it. So you just see here, boom, boom, 1, 2. So again, a thing of beauty, because it does hit on a very particular point. It does hit on this point, which is where this one matches almost. So as if we had this line, then we have this other line. It will it will match to that one. So I don't think I'm going as exact as I would like, but it is exact enough right now. So nothing to complain about. Okay. So that solves for this. This one will come down like this one. And Zoom completes in the normal manner. I'm trying to orient myself here. Yeah. So it's these two that are going to have the hexagon. Yeah, so it's like two-side hexagon and then two-side it's going to have that sort of the coming down stuff. Now, what just needs to be solved for is to have this shape be the same as this shape. So these two shapes have to be the same. And so if we look at it, there is a point here which resembles this point here, where it does cut up and sort of make this triangle, the same triangle that we have here. No, it actually is like this, but it is at that same point. Wait a minute, wait a minute. So there are going to be, so this line will actually be perpendicular to the, let's see here, I have it on my phone here beside me. Well, one of these will go down like this. Although upon further inspection, this one and this one are actually different angle. Let me see. Okay, so we might as well just solve it, right? Okay, so I know that the top part for this corner That is to say, like between these two, there's a very definite. So we might as well put these in. Yeah, get them all in. I guess a lot of the beauty of these designs is just how well they match to themselves, right? How well they just seem to relate to space. I guess it's a way of putting things into harmony. And that word sort of evokes all these thoughts of music. So the idea of decorating space with sort of like these songs of harmony, like these songs of space, is quite endearing. Or at least it suggests that there is this like underlying guiding principle in order. And the more I think about it, the more it seems like a case could be made for just things being the way they are and perfect. But I also suspect that even though we might get some kind of, pass and that we are in God's hands, at the same time, I suspect that we still need to do the work. You know? Even though we might be in God's hands, we still gotta sort of follow our guiding principle. So you're not obligated or forced to sort of be the way you are almost, or not to respect your own sense of direction. You gotta do it on your own almost. You gotta do it on your own terms, but through your own volition as well. Well, see, what I'm noticing is that if I keep these going, there is a point where, like, very naturally, these two sort of intersect. This sort of finishes off. So it goes like this. I have very two clear points where this could go in. Now, as I said, I know that this is going to go toward, going up like this. It's a little shorter. This angle is a different angle than the one. Where's the one that we solved for? Over here. So it is different. Also a nice touch is that this line right here, this is already set. It's a radial line, so that's interesting. And then let me look at this thing because it's just too weird. Well, no, yeah, it is the radial line. This relationship right here, it is the radial line. So that's solved for. And now it's just a matter of sort of doing that. So, okay, so I know the point. So that I was going to go through all this trouble. Yeah, so right at that point, I do a cross. And then we could even mirror this on which corner is it? On this corner right down here. One of my favorite feelings in the world is being on a bus. It's being on a bus somewhere to meet someone I care about. To see like a family member or a friend. It's just one of the most beautiful feelings in the world, just to go traveling to meet someone. And there's that feeling a lot. There's a lot of things I miss and a lot of things I don't miss about the old world, the pre-corona world. One of the things I do miss is that, the traveling. There's just no going back, and no sense in romanticizing the things. So we do see very clearly how, it's right on that channel. It is on the radio line, which I think is very interesting. We will need to mirror this on this line here to this point, do we though? It seems to me that we do need some information we don't have on this one. Yeah, we do need, well, we can just adjust this for this, apparently. So that's also interesting. It does perfectly match to this radio line here. It's almost as if this radio line hits and then bounces back out, but it's exactly on this line. And then we can also take advantage of that and sort of lift that up using as a mirror reference right here. What that's going to give us is just the point where that comes down. Now, if I do it like this as well, I'm going to see that we don't have this line either. And so again, we can do a bounce. You see some relationships, that seems to be a landing site there, right here. Sort of a nice sort of whoop, whoop. You can see that these two are parallel pretty clearly. And then that just solves for it. But we just stop where it comes down, we come back in, we go back out. So it's very interesting how it's almost as if radio lines are relating, because it is, well, no, this is a pattern line, but still. So it's one pattern line, one radio line. We also see how this line is matching to that later line, with this line that we did here, perfectly matching to that. And as we saw, there was another relationship that we wanted to take advantage of. Yeah, it was this one, and then this one sort of came down on the parallel. Oh, yeah, that's just a radial. So this is actually the platinum rectangle, if I'm not mistaken. Wait a minute, is this actually falling on? Yeah, because then this one needs a little more downtime over here. Oh, 1, 2. Again, we fold this back, and we're trying to see where the lines are that we need. So it's this one, of course. Yep. And we can take advantage again of this. So again, we got some perfect matches here. Something I didn't notice on this one as well is that is pretty much this corner is falling on this intersection there. I didn't notice that before, but it's just perfectly matching there. So this one just as well. It's a very beautiful match, that one. So, you know, we already had the pattern, we didn't even notice. What's cool about this pattern is how hard it looks, and apparently how simple the solution is. It's just that, it's just quite interesting. It's a very beautiful design. So now it's just a matter of putting, I guess, a pen line on these. But that pretty much solves for the pattern. Again, I'm sorry I overslept. So sorry. Will never happen again. I will sleep early next time. It's not gonna happen again. This is not a repeat offense. Excuse. I'm just really embarrassed. But you know, many patterns to do. Don't lose hope. It is Friday. So hope you guys have a good weekend. Thank you all for joining us. This is a very beautiful pattern. A lot of relationships, a lot of things coming together real nice. Especially at the end, I found that this part was my favorite because I thought it was going to be the hardest, and it turned out that it was already solved for. I mean, there's a lot of relationships in this segment, this quarter of it is just very beautiful in the way it sort of solves for everything and just bounces out. And it's weird because I usually thought that these look kind of always a little too aggressive for my taste. Like they're too big almost, but now that I see how they're done, it's just, I guess I see the appeal now. But when I was looking at this pattern for folding it today, what was interesting to me was how it was hard to figure out what was happening exactly. And once you realize that it's just these bunch of squares and that there's all this information going on, well, you begin to think about the tile. And the way it works is that if every corner sort of represents a different kind of square corner almost, then, you know, the possibilities sort of just multiply, or rather like exponentially increase. Well, there's a cap though. I mean, there's a cap of 4 different squares that you can sort of alternate on, but it also requires this mirror symmetry in order for it to tile properly. At least just go like one to the other. It makes you think that you're going to need a 9x9. Because when we actually sort of keep this going, this being the center, if we have another sort of tile happening over here and then one underneath, this point right here seems to be framing our device, or whatever it is this thing is. You know, it sort of frames it on here, and then you're thinking, well, no, because there's no channel. So your eyes naturally just go for the next one. And then you sort of go like 1, 2, and then it's going to be, you know, like 3 on the bottom. So, you know, I like that it's a lot of that, keeps you guessing. So this is pattern Morocco, MOR 1236 on David Waite's site. So if you want to check it out for yourself and see more about it. I still got to read like of all these monuments. I mean, I do feel that doing these patterns sort of brings you a little bit closer to the monument. So in my mind, this is the way that I'm sort of going to get my ticket. Like in my imagination, at least, you know. It's almost as if I can imagine the pattern, that somehow brings me closer to the way that they were thinking. And not necessarily that will make me travel and go there, but it will sort of give me the travel for my imagination. I'm going for that analogy today. The imagination gives you wings. So yeah, all things considered, seems to be a very beautiful pattern. So my guess is that in order for this to tile, you know, fully, we are going to need a lot of information, or just a 4x4, 4x4, and then all these sort of 12s. I mean, it is technically possible, you know. That is just because we can doesn't mean we should. I mean, maybe what could be done in order to sort of make the most of space would be to just do it on a smaller tile. That's what I'm thinking. If we do it smaller, then we can actually tessellate this properly and fully in tracing paper. Because as it stands now, it's hard. So I don't have this line, so I avoided it completely because I already have a point. I have my 2 points, actually, my midpoint of the edge here and that point of intersection. I'm just going for that freehand. And well, this one as well. I think this one I did fold. Some of these, yeah, this one I did fold. Same old, same old. Last line here. And so that's it. This is a tile for the Marrakesh tile. So for this morning session, that would be it. For at least the 7 a.m. So for the 11 a.m., we're going to do the drop and going to look over a little bit of the basics of this one. But very beautiful origami Islamic patterns. Kamikile. Signing off. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll see you all next time. And I promise I will not be oversleeping no more. Thank you.